use social media to share or not to share?
So oftentimes when we find out that we're pregnant, we're expecting, you can go through a range of emotions. You can feel excited, you can feel nervous, especially if after you have suffered a loss, you're like, okay, now people are going to be wondering, people are going to be asking questions. So you think, okay, is it the right time to share? When do I share? So you kind of have to just play with your emotions and just figure out, what works best for you. If you want to share, when you want to share.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
So for me, I didn't share either time on social media that I was pregnant because of that fear. It's just like, oh my gosh, you're gonna get the questions and this and that, and I just didn't want to deal with it. But I think the most important part, or the hardest part, is when you do share and then you have a loss, and then it's like, oh my gosh, now I have to make this grand post to announce the fact that I've lost. And I feel like some people have to, it's harder for them to deal with the comments that are going to come rather than the actual post itself.
Okay, so you think criticism more so.
Right.
Okay.
So for me, I guess I was the exact opposite of you with the first pregnancy, because it was my first one. So of course I was excited, I was happy, everything. So after I hit, they usually say it's safe to kind of announce after the first trimester, which is like 12, 13 weeks. So I think I did it around 12 weeks. We made a, like, we're expecting post or whatever. And of course it was well received. But after that, like, I was kind of doing weekly updates, like just showing my bump and the growth and everything. We had a poll when we were going to find out the gender. We had a poll so people could guess if it was a girl or a boy. And that was, of course, 20 weeks. My loss was at 22 weeks. So it was kind of awkward having to now go back and tell people that I had a loss.
How long did you wait
after the loss?
After your loss to actually post and say that you had a loss?
Well, it was, so it happened in mid-March. I made the post, it was around April 1st or it was April 2nd, and I felt kind of bad because my husband's birthday was like that same week, and I was like, I don't want this to overshadow your birthday. I'm like, do you want me to wait, or do you just not want me to say anything? Like, what do I even say? So I had to come up with that, and it was just really a challenge. But I mean, in my personal opinion, I felt like I had support, like, because no one was expecting to hear that. But I did feel like I had support from the people who I did tell.
Well, I know recently, or I wouldn't say recently, but within the past few months, Little Mo, she had to announce her loss because of an announcement that she didn't even expect. So the situation was, Little Mo was on Love and Hip Hop, and because the reunion was airing, and on the reunion she stated that she was expecting, she had to kind of renege on her statement because she had to go make a post now to say that she lost. And I think that's like the hardest thing, because everybody's now just finding out and ready to give you your congratulations and everything, and you have to sit and be like, oh my gosh, how do I tell them that I don't have this beautiful thing growing inside me anymore?
So when I read her post just announcing the miscarriage that she had, it seemed to me like she had kind of almost forgotten that she said it on TV, and she was like, when I read it anyway, it was kind of like, I forgot to tell y'all, I had a loss. So it was, I don't know, I guess that's the trick with things being aired and filmed in advance. Of course, it's not in real time. It's nowhere near real time. But it was enough for me to think that she kind of, I'm not going to say got over it, but she had put it in the back of her mind.
I think for me it was completely different. When I lost my twins, I don't think I shared it at all. I don't think I posted anything. I just shared it to, with my best friends, my family, and that was it. And when I had my daughter, I remember posting like bump pictures, like, okay, she's growing,
And movement videos.
and
which were
movement
so
videos,
cute.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it was one of those things where it was like, okay, I'm posting this, but I'm still like not completely full in with my emotions because I don't know if she's going to make it or not. And this one right here can
Oh my
attest
gosh.
to.
Let me tell you about this one, okay?
Oh my gosh, here we go.
How she did not have a baby bag prepped.
I didn't.
She didn't have
That
a
was
to-go
bad.
bag ready. Nothing was unpacked from the baby shower. But at the same time, it kind of shows you where sometimes, no matter how far along you get with the baby after
Yeah.
loss, that realization does not hit you until
Yeah.
you are holding
Right.
this child.
Yeah.
And it did not help in the fact that we thought that she was a boy,
Yeah.
and boom, here goes this
Here
beautiful
goes this
baby girl.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I can say is that after a loss, on social media, I swear, you see so much baby products.
So
You
yeah, that's
do.
another thing. So after, because I guess when I was pregnant, my first pregnancy, I had, you subscribe to the little like mommy things on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
And if whatever I was looking at Target, once like I was looking on Target at something, it would pop up in my, like, I guess from the cookies or whatever, it would pop up. I'd see an ad for it. So after that, I had to pretty much unsubscribe from everything I was subscribed to,
Yeah.
like unfollow everyone who I knew
Yeah.
that was pregnant at the time. I had to unfollow them. Some of them I haven't even followed back just because they would have kids around the same age as my son, and I'm like, I don't know how to say it, but I don't want to see your kid grow.
Right.
Not be mean.
I can't think of a way to say it, but
Right.
Yeah.
it would be hard for me to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I think one of the things that ties into it that got me around the time when I had my losses was commercials, and then like a baby would come on the TV, and it's like, okay, it's a commercial, so they run consistently.
Mhm.
So I would always find myself like having to change the channel, and oh my gosh, don't let me see a commercial with identical twin boys.
Oh my
I would be
God.
like, no, and my mind would start literally playing this game of, oh my gosh, they would have been this old, and they would have looked just like that, and they would have been smiling, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you go through all these different things, and it's just like, it was a lot. It was a lot.
and
Honestly, it
even
was a
some of
lot.
the CDs, like I think right after the loss, I think it was Greenleaf that was coming on, and the girl on the show had lost a baby.
Oh, you're talking about when she had twins?
Yeah, she lost one of the
one.
twins.
Mhm.
And then I think it was an episode about her baby shower. I had to change, I couldn't watch that. And then Blackish, they were playing a baby shower episode around. It was after the loss, and I was feeling emotional, so I had to watch that later on, like once I felt ready. And yeah, certain shows and like you said, commercials.
Yeah.
Like even now, watching Pampers commercials with newborns is like really hard. Sometimes I have to look away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the one thing that I know, Mary, you had talked about, and we all kind of saw, was when somebody posts about a loss, the negative stuff that comes
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's because I don't think people know how to accept it. They don't know what to say sometimes.
Here's my thing that gets me. I don't understand the negative comments. I don't know if I'll ever really understand the negative comments because, one, someone is sharing what they've been through, so they're at one of the most vulnerable times in their lives. And then this is a topic that is not talked about enough. Like, it's just not talked about enough, which is why we felt so passionate about creating this channel. And to have someone go through that, be at their lowest point or one of their lowest points, feel so vulnerable, feel brave enough to share that
Right.
with people and then get negative feedback. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're a homeless person on the street. I don't care who they are. If you're going through something, you should never have to be subjected to negative comments like that. And leading right into it, we saw Brandy from Love and Hip Hop,
Right.
and she shared what she went through, and it baffled me. I had to reach out to these
Oh my gosh.
these ladies and let them know what I was seeing. And it
Right.
was just like, wow, like she's getting bashed
She got attacked.
literally.
for speaking about what she went through. And I'll speak on what I saw, and then you guys can speak on what you saw. But a lot of what I saw was, why is she speaking out about it? Oh my gosh, she's crying and it's annoying me. And why is she sharing this? And some of it was from men. And it was like, whoa, you can't even
No
begin to
idea.
relate.
Yeah.
You can't
No
even
idea.
begin to understand what we women go through to even
Right.
carry a child.
Exactly.
And then you speak on, something like that.
So a lot of what I saw was basically she's doing this for attention. She's crying. Why are you sitting in the hospital crying in front of a camera? If you like, she did make a comment in her. She had a post, like a paragraph she wrote, and she said she was trying to keep the pregnancy private.
Right.
And everyone was like, "Well, if you could keep the pregnancy private, why do you feel the need to share this loss?" Like, but nobody understands that's her way of coping.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So for me, I felt like at the end of the day, when somebody has a loss, everybody deals with loss differently. Everybody mourns differently, and everybody grieves differently.
Right.
So if she felt like she wanted to share that, 99% of the time is because you want support.
Yeah.
And you want to let other people know that this happened, not just because you're famous. And I do figure quotes because somebody else may not know who she is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you have over 100,000 followers on Instagram, you're technically famous, okay? But it's like, if she reaches out, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything
Exactly.
at all. And with the loss, if you just simply want to say, I'm sorry for your loss, that means more than bashing her about finding angles
Yeah.
or bashing her about fixing her hair.
Yeah.
If her image is a part of her, which most likely it is, there's no reason why you should be coming at her in that way,
Right.
saying that, like you said, oh, she's doing it for attention, or why would you share this intimate moment? A lot of times you have no idea what you're going to feel like when a baby is born, much more less when you lose one.
Right.
And so, what if she didn't have any support in that hospital room?
Yeah.
What if the only people that she felt like would maybe understand what she's going through is the people that follow her on Instagram?
Right.
Or
You never know.
she might, even though, I mean, it looked like she was in the hospital to me, she might have just come to terms, like, it takes a while to come to terms with what just happened.
Yeah,
So that
it
might have been
does,
her
it does.
revelation that, okay, this is real, this has happened to
Yeah.
me, and I feel like I need to share it because I finally feel comfortable enough to express myself. And for her to get bashed and attacked and whatever,
Right.
I mean, that's disheartening, that's heartbreaking.
Can we honestly say, I mean, okay, so we have Brandy from Love and Hip Hop. Then let's name some other stars who've miscarried.
Let's say, okay, we've heard Beyonce has had issues with carrying as well. When she announced her losses, open arms to the millions of people
Yeah.
that follow her. Open arms, like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I went through it too. Sharing stories, and you saw less negative comments.
But that's because she's Beyonce. Like,
Right. Yeah.
people feel like she can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess people put her on more pedestal than they would somebody like
But
Brandy.
that's unfair
Yeah.
because she's
It
still
is
a woman.
unfair. Yeah. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have lost a part of you. What a lot of people don't understand, and men, towards you all, we thank you for the support that you provide us, but understand you will never know what it's like to lose a part of you.
right.
Because when you carry a child, especially if you hear the heartbeat, I think that's the most pivotal moment, I know for me.
Yeah.
Once you hear that heartbeat and understand that there's a living thing growing inside you and growing from you,
Yeah.
you get attached
Right.
immediately You start rubbing your belly more. You start talking to your baby more. You start acknowledging, oh, I can't lay on this side because this baby's here, or I can't lay on my stomach, or I can't
eat this, I can't eat that.
Right. It's like your whole life changes to make sure that what you're growing is comfortable as best as possible. But like I said, at the end of the day, she's a woman, and she should have not received that type of attack.
Yeah.
Gabrielle Union
Mm-hmm.
was another person that shared her lifelong issues with infertility. Different response.
Right.
Completely different response. And at the end of the day, no matter what, a loss is a loss.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether it's a grandmother, a father, a mother, or a child, a loss is a loss.
Yeah.
And no one should ever feel that comfortable with disrespecting somebody that just lost a baby.
Right.
And I don't know about y'all, but the hardest thing for me was actually saying the words. Those actual words, I miscarried. I lost my baby.
Yeah.
Those words,
Yeah.
like actually saying that out of your own mouth.
Yeah.
I think I cried halfway through the first time I tried to say it.
Yeah.
Because it makes it real.
It does.
And that's,
It
if you
does.
watch the video where Brandy was explaining what happened to her, she kind of had a hard time saying the word too. She started saying miscarriage, and then she changed the word. She said, I lost the baby, or something like that. So, it's definitely a hard thing to come to terms with.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like you would still want to put your news on social media, or how do you make faces?
In my next pregnancy, I will probably wait as long as I can. I might be maybe making an announcement on the way to the hospital. I don't know.
On the way.
Right, on the way, like,
the way.
I'm in labor.
Once I'm in the car, like, I don't know. With the second pregnancy, I didn't really have much of a chance to announce anything, and I didn't even make it to the end of the first trimester. So I guess that was a relief that I didn't have to go back and tell a million people whatever happened. But in the next pregnancy, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do.
For me, I feel like I have mixed feelings. So, y'all know I love the Lord. And I know that the miracle of carrying a baby to full term is just that, a miracle. And I don't want to take away from my experience. You know what I'm saying? With not wanting to share out of fear. But at the same time, that fear is just like, who do I really want to talk about this? And then unfortunately something happens. So it's mixed feelings, because I know I want to do a gender reveal. I want to have a baby shower. I want to do a photo shoot. I want to do the bump videos. But when to share them, it's kind of like however I feel at that time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you have to kind of go with whatever you feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For me, it's different. These two have wonderful husbands that are very supportive and take care of them. And for me, I'm a widow, so I just recently lost my husband, so I'm not checking for anybody. That's just me. That's my preference. I want to have more kids in the future, but I'm very spiritual, so if God does not want that for me, then I'm completely fine with that. But how I feel about it is that I think I honestly would just take it as it comes. When it was my daughter, I don't think I would do that, where I would wait to the last minute with everything.
You won't. I promise.
She
You
won't.
will not.
She won't allow me to. But I just feel as though I would just really listen to my body and how I feel, and just even talk to God about it, and just kind of really take my time with everything, week by week or month by month. And then when I feel comfortable, when I truly myself, not getting pressure from anybody else, but when I feel comfortable, then I'll have that conversation with everybody in the world, because I feel as though when you are opening everything to the world, you're allowing everything. You're as much as we talk about negative comments and criticism and things like that, we're opening this part of our life to the world. So I mean, we like to think that there's people who are sensible and have respect for others and wouldn't take that route of criticizing, because you'll hear comments like, wow, she's having another one.
Yeah.
Things like that. So I mean, it's really up to that person. So for me, I honestly would just wait and just see how I feel about it and just kind of go from there.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like you just said, you come to realize not everybody is gonna be happy for you.
Exactly.
So you kind of have to watch what you say and who you say it
Right.
to.
Yeah.
Because you never know what their thoughts or their intentions are.
Right.
Yeah. Well, guys, we want to know what you guys think. Okay?
Yeah.
Share your stories, your opinions, your comments down below. Make sure you guys follow us as well. But we want to know what you guys feel. Yeah. What were your experiences? What happened with you? We want to know.
Hey guys! Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Follow us on all our social media. The links are down below in the description box.